Hello and a very, very yummy, sweet welcome. This is the second session of our group Attuning to Presence that happens every fortnight on a Saturday evening at 8:30. So we always start with the recorded meditation. So if you're listening to this in your own comfortable place, offer yourself the intention to drop everything for the next 30 minutes to 40 minutes and simply allow yourself to welcome you back fully. Drop all the doing, all the non-doing. When I was sitting with what meditation is asking to come through, the meditation around Imbolc is what was coming through since we've just had that transition in our, at least in Manchester, which is where I'm based at the moment. So trusting that metaphors around the Imbolc and this pregnant time of the year, full of possibilities and full of opportunities. It's like our earth, the body of our Mother Earth is impregnated with fragrance, impregnated with beautiful smells, and nature is ready to shoot up and sprout up out through the mud, out through the darkness, out through the ground to greet us and meet us. And like everything, truth, when it's realized and when it's recognized, the truth that is essentially here at the cornerstones of our being, it's reflected in the apparent outside world of us. Wherever we look, it smiles back at us. It is the reason why when you look at a blossomed flower, there is a sense of perhaps serenity that comes over through your body. When you look at a tall tree, it's almost like for a glimpse of the moment you vanish. And what remains? Do this exercise next time you pass from the crocuses. But for the purpose of this meditation, let's assume that the crocus or the snowdrop and who you are one and the same. And allow yourself to really feel the journey through which this little seedling is taking. It's led by something really mysterious. A mysterious force is compelling it towards growth and light, towards actualizing the fragrance that's inherently there within its own cellular fabric of its existence. Layers after layers of earth and ground above its head. And yet, in that womb, in that space, it's full of potential. this mysterious force. Let's call it consciousness, let's call it love, let's call it life. I like to call it grace. It's what's moving through us day in and day out. It's what's compelling us towards discovering the light that we are, that's not separate to who we are. And just like the crocus and the snowdrop are pushing through mud, they're weaving, their movement is being weaved through the darkness of the earth, following the glimpses and the stirrings of the light. How does it know? How do we know as humans to seek for the light? Now, in the human experience, the seeking might take many different forms. What forms does it take in your direct experience? They're seeking for more qualifications to feel more complete. They're seeking for more experience to fill in the void, seeking the next relationship to feel fulfilled, the next job to feel successful. Although all of these ways of seeking are temporary, they are arising out of a very primordial inner knowing that who we are is not enough, is not complete. And this is very true because the identity in which we have attached all our worth and value is in many ways empty and will never feel satisfied. However, it is this identity through which we cultivate the light that's inherent in the womb of our bellies and our existence. That is the light we're seeking. That which we already are, and we're not conscious of it yet. So the invitation in this meditation is to assume you are what you're seeking. And for a minute, drop all the seeking for more, the doing, the fixing. When all movement is dropped, what remains is simply a movement towards light that has no agenda, but just an inner knowing that this is what is looking to merge with. And like the flowers, the crocuses, the snowdrops, they have no attachment. They follow somehow magically and mysteriously going through the light, and then they wither and they fall back into the ground. And there's such a wisdom in that cycle. It's pointing us back into the impermanence of life. into the ever-changing nature of our lives, all which is expressing itself in the unchanging. All movement is watched from the place that is unmovable. A place free of any desire or want to reach anywhere, but has a direct, subtle knowing that is complete as it is. You are complete as you are already. And I know you know this in your own soul. I've known this all along on my journey. Since being a child, and especially when we're children, we're so unfiltered from all the noise, hopefully. But even if the noise is very loud in our childhood, upbringing homes, we will all have had experiences where we're glimpsed into that magical mystery that we call life. We're glimpsed into the mysterious forces of the universe, into the unknown, into the awe that life is about. And then we forgot because we were conditioned to forget. And paradoxically, we had to forget so that we can remember. So the discovery we're talking here, the light that we're talking about, is not any light that you acquire with anything. To the contrary, the light is here already. What we're inviting is to let go, to stop, a total surrender, and to this magical force that can take care of everything, that can take care of you. And then what's here? And then it's an unfolding, life becomes an unfolding mystery from moment to moment, when we're not attached to the identity we have taken for granted that we are, and who so frantically is looking to improve, to get better. We can't, because it will always feel incomplete, and it will seek therapy again and again and again. And some healing is very necessary along the way, but it's not the end. And I'm a psychotherapist by background. And so what I'm offering is a space where both, because we are a human that has got wounding. And often we assume that the way to heal this wounding is to find ways to manage it or to replace it with more stories about how unbroken we were, how lovable we are. And all of this is true, all of this is okay. But it's adding layers of more and more stories into a place that it goes beyond all of these stories. So it depends where our attention is shifting. It's about letting every emotion in and meeting it for what is. like the crocuses, is not afraid of this light. And yet we as humans, we are terrified of this light I'm pointing to. We're terrified of our own light. We make up stories about how we shouldn't, we should be humble, we shouldn't be arrogant, and it couldn't be more of an arrogant thing to say, paradoxically. It's funny because when this truth is discovered and it only wants to share itself with no attachment, no agenda, just a joy. I'm sitting here, my kids are asleep, and I'm sitting here and I'm rejoicing in this space that I know it's me, that it's here in my day when my kids are around, that is space and freedom and peace. And now I have the luxury and the privilege, because many people don't in many countries, not the moment, to just sit here and look at you and knowing that we're not separate and sharing this fire of this truth, this love. Jump in the fire. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nobody can stop you but yourself. The world is looking, is craving for this love, for this fire. Be the crocus, be the snowdrop. Come through the darkness, because the shadow is needed. The shadow at its core is hiding your eternal light. The key to your freedom. We're not bypassing the shadow. We're meeting it. What we're not doing is managing it. As the crocus takes shortcuts where to sprout from, the path that has less mud, no. The momentum of life is unstoppable. The only way we deceive ourselves is by believing the stories and the lies we've told ourselves, that we can somehow make it less painful or less suffering. And then we're caught in the loop of another layer of trying and seeking spiritually, or seeking spiritually is not any different in my eyes as seeking that might happen in other ways. The difference is for me that spiritual seekers have much more of an intense kind of journey with it. It's another field that a lot of stories and a lot of beliefs can be caught up, or thought streams like how to get to that place. So in many ways I think it's best not to know many things. That was my experience in my life. I didn't know what spiritual awakening was about. I didn't know what enlightenment was about. I didn't know what Kundalini was. And yet there was experiences that kept occurring in my life that were glimpses of that timelessness. The question dissolves. The questioner, how to live in the timeless? Drop the how. Witness the how. That's how you're dropping the how. You're witnessing the question and you're asking yourself, even this how, it's arising somewhere. Can you become aware of the place in which it's arising? All is perfect. That's what nature points back to us. There is divine perfection in every cycle of our seasons, the cycle and the rhythms and the cyclical nature of our days. Everything exists in this cycle of change, and we are watching this. We can anchor our attention to watch these cycles from a place that is not limited in and by time. And that place is a place in which time even appears as a concept, the yesterday, the tomorrow. Where are they? They're here now. So if there's any parts that come and want to shed doubt about this, or don't understand these words, or let them be. It's part of the mood that the crocus has to go through to reach the light. It's part of the human experience. Share your light of awareness by just simply letting these parts be here, and take comfort and warmth in the light of your being and the presence of all that you are. That light can hold it all. Like a mother is embracing her children with unconditional love and presence. Don't believe a word of what I say, just shift your attention and your experience now, and discover what's here. So continuing the metaphor of the crocuses and the snowdrops, although it's spring and it's light, sometimes they receive the rain, they receive thunderstorms. We often have rain in spring. These can be symbols for our own inner experiences. It didn't stop them from sprouting. That knowing didn't stop them from not finding the light, not completing their destiny and existence as fragrant flowers. What stops us, humans? And if we look closely, it's nothing more than just stories after stories after stories about the rain, about the thunder, ways we need to protect ourselves. Protection and armor. That's the message the crocuses are giving us. Drop your armor. Enjoy the light, enjoy the sun, enjoy the rain, enjoy the wind. They're all passing. Nothing stays. Be the witness of all that change. Now, it's the only time that exists. Okay. And when you're ready, you can open your human eyes, because you've been watching from a different place anyway. Thank you for listening. I'm wishing you a wonderful day, evening, night, and jump on again when you feel called. All the love.